us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another weekly news broadcast, MoCo Resistance. My name is Harold Maldonado. Today is March 13th, year of our Lord, 2024. And we come to you to provide you local and national news for this week's episode. In today's episode, it's 24. We entitled it Counsel Circumvents Issues, and basically talking about what the council is doing in terms of not really addressing the issues that we have as residents, crime, the economy, education, etc., but just going around the issue and throwing money at the problem, for example. So that's why we entitled this episode as such. We welcome new listeners to the channel. Thank you for giving us a chance. And for those that follow us on a weekly basis, welcome back. So we're back at covering news. In the past episodes, we have done special reports and also deep dives on history, for example. And I hope you guys have enjoyed those episodes. So in this week, we're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about MoCo news. We're going to talk about what's going on locally, and then we're going to touch on some national news happening, and we're going to have a bonus track where we will go ahead and talk about some other issues that have come up. So in terms of what's going on in the world today, we are experiencing a lot of issues at home, the open border issues, and locally, first of all, we have the Board of Education is looking for a new superintendent. The Board of Education has provided their budget for MCPS, and it's about $3 billion, and it's again money going towards administrative staff rather than providing money for teaching. So that's an issue that has been going on for many years. So let's get started. As usual, we're going to look into Twitter, but let's do a summary of what we're going to cover in MoCo News. We're going to talk about, as again, the Board of Education searching for a new superintendent. Today we have a temporary interim superintendent, and I'm not going to talk about her because she also has a very checkered past, and we don't need to delve into that because she's leaving. So hopefully we'll get someone with that actually knows what she or he is doing. All right, the second point, we're going to talk about how MCPS ranks 220 out of 250 school districts in the country. So we have not only fallen out of the 100 and 150 or the top 50 schools in the nation, we are 220. We're at the bottom. So this is a result of the mismanagement of our funds, of our tax money, and complete deterioration of our education done on purpose. So we're going to talk about that. And also businesses in the county are escaping the county due to crime. Well, it makes sense. It doesn't take a lot of thinking to connect the dots that if you see a crime rising, companies that are already present in the county are going to leave, and future or prospective companies that want to invest in the county are going to think twice, and they're not going to be able to put their signature in opening shop in the county. Then we're going to talk about Andrew Fritzen, the current county council president. He announced a $20 million to help the economy. Completely out of touch. It's a wrong move because you can throw money at the problem, but if you don't resolve the structural problems, then it's money wasted on things that are not going to be remotely sustainable in the short or medium term, because the structural problems outweigh any money that you can give to a sector or to spur economic activity, because the underlying issues that are crippling the economy remain. And then we're going to talk about Evan Glass using Washington Compost as cover to pretend to care about the $3 million budget from MCPS. And as at this point, you should know that all the media outlets locally work to protect the Democrat Party, and they are there to provide, of course, a medium for communicating to the public that Evan Glass cares. Well, he doesn't. He's just a puppet, and like all of the council members, a very low IQ, and he also prefers other flags instead of the U.S. flag. Is he American? Does he have double citizenship? I wonder. Like to ask if he and others in the council hold secondary passports. That would be interesting. And then finally, we're going to talk about the teachers union puts out its Apple ballot. So we have elections this year for the Board of Education, and of course they have been instrumental in the decay of the education quality in our county, and there are a lot of voices around going on right now that are rightly criticizing the teachers union and its Apple ballot, because the Apple ballot candidates that have been in the Board of Education for many years, at least 20, have been the cause of the current state of education in our county. So the deterioration, the malfeasance, the mismanagement, the lack of accountability, and everything under the sun in terms of protecting the rights of children, parents, and teachers is on the table, and they have failed to do that. So in this election year, we have a chance to make a difference, to change some board members, and to elect people who are not part of the political establishment in the county, who are not part of the Democrat Party, and who are independent voices that are actually good candidates. We're going to talk about some of those, and also some races that we have in the congressional races this year. And we have are currently doing interviews with some of them, and you'll hear more about them. So let's get started. Again, we're going to turn into Twitter. We always do. And let's see. We have a tweet from my MC Media. I don't like them very much, but well, anyway. MCPS is currently in the process of searching for a new superintendent starting Wednesday. Student, staff, and community members can complete the survey to share what they think is important. So if you haven't done so, please complete the survey. I don't think it's going to do a lot of good, but at least we'll have it on the record that parents have expressed their concerns of what they want from the new superintendent in terms of qualifications, background, etc. So, all right, let's continue. We have one of my tweets talking about how our school system has declined so much in quality and of education, math scores, reading scores, etc. And we are ranking at 220 out of 250 school districts in the country. We are at the bottom of the pit, and I said on March 6th last week, I said, today is March 6, 2024, and our government officials overseeing our schools, MCPS, Boards of Education, Montgomery County Council, have miserably failed students, teachers, and the county. We need to vote them out and elect new non-establishment candidates into the Board of Education. So, here's the information. So a new survey by Test Prep Insight, a test prep company, surveyed 3,000 parents across the United States to find out which school districts they would want their children to attend. Montgomery County was one of 250 schools included in the survey and ranked 220. So there you have it. Other schools, districts doing comparisons in Maryland ranked higher, with Anne Arundel County Public Schools at number 40, Frederick County Public Schools at 170, Howard County Public Schools at 171, and Carroll County Schools at 194. Ranked number 1 is Lower Marion School District in Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. So once the greatest or the most qualified, one of the best school districts in the region, now we're at the bottom of the pit. And who do we have to thank for that? The current and past Democrat candidates and leaders who went into the MCPS, Board of Education, and the council, including the executive. And this is a result of that. One-party rule is not healthy. You need checks and balances, and we don't have that. They are doing everything they can to destroy. Corruption is out of hand. I mean, I could go on and on about the cases, but you already know the Biddleman case, the harassment, the misallocation of resources, the misallocation of money going towards programs that are not feasible. And then let's continue with MoCo magazine. Actually, I don't know about this source, but they provide good information so far. So here's a tweet they put out 17 hours ago saying Silver Spring Starbucks to close due to crime concerns. So going back into the economy, the owner of McGinty's Public House, which is right next to the Starbucks, Debbie Lee, tells 7 News her staff has been assaulted and harassed. They are afraid things are going to get worse. So before anything bad happens, companies are deciding to close shop and invest elsewhere. So what does that do to the local economy? It takes away jobs that are basically targeted for college students, high school students, and people who are going to school or have a part-time job, a full-time job, and this is just an extra job that they would have. But so where are those kids going to go? Where are those part-time and full-time employees going to go? So it's the loss of jobs, and this is a structural problem. Crime and the lack of security does not spur investment in businesses and the economy. So they don't understand. The council doesn't understand this. I'm sure they like to believe, you to believe that they understand what's going on, but they don't. We have, the owner of McGinty's Public House in downtown Silver Spring, cites the presence of gangs harassing employees and lack of police presence in the area. Report from News 7 also recalls unsolved murder in nearby garage a year ago. So this is stories of nightmares in terms of the quality of life that we used to have in the county. And it's not, I mean, if you live in Damascus or Poolsville and Olney and places like that, well, you're not safe either because crime is spreading like wildfire. We told you this was going to happen, and it is, unfortunately. This is what happens when you elect the same party over and over again. I saw a tweet today about Eldridge and saying that if Blair would have won, things would have been different. I don't think so. All right, I'll let you go ahead and listen to this report.
2-year-old Charles Reynolds was robbed and killed inside a parking garage here in downtown Silver Spring. Still no arrests have been made. And since then, a handful of businesses have shut down and moved away. The latest, this Starbucks, which has been here for 2 decades, is closing its doors. You see the signage here on the storefront. The popular coffee shop has now notified customers and employees that they are closing at the end of the month and that employees will have an opportunity to transfer to a nearby location. Some of those Employees tell 7 News they are closing due to safety concerns with crime. Now, 7 News did obtain a statement from Starbucks, which says in part, we continually evaluate our business to ensure a healthy store portfolio. After careful consideration, we've determined it's best to close the store. Take a look. We noticed over the weekend at least 2 other businesses on the same block have just shut down. Just last month, this armed robbery here was caught on surveillance cameras in the 900 block of Silver Spring Avenue, not far from where we are standing. Police are still looking for those suspects. Now, I spoke with the owner of McGinty's Irish Pub, which is right next to the Starbucks. She tells me her staff has been assaulted and harassed. They are afraid things are going to get worse.
People are really concerned about the safety, especially after dark. There's too many gangs hanging around, being abusive, and there's not enough police presence down. A lot of people just say they don't want to come down here because of safety issues.
Now, the property manager here in downtown Silver Spring has released a statement saying the safety and security of our customers, merchants, and their employees is our top priority. Downtown Silver Spring has 24/7 private security patrolling and monitoring our development with cameras. They are working closely with Montgomery County Police, which is now using special drones and license plate readers to try to stop the crime here in this downtown area. To read both.
So I used to live in Silver Spring, and it wasn't that bad at all. I mean, it was, of course, there's some incidents here and there, but it wasn't like this. Robberies, businesses closing, not at all. And as a business person, anybody who wants to invest in Montgomery County, and especially in hot crime areas, well, they have to think about not only budgeted in, the usual cost of opening a business, but they have to add private security to the mix. So thank you, Eldridge. Thank you, Mon County Council. This is your doing. This is on you, 100%. And the previous executives and the previous councils before you. All right, let's continue. We have a very interesting tweet from Clean Slate MoCo about the current president of the council, Andrew Friedson. And I've been saying this a long time, and well, he's the one who is putting this on paper in writing, and saying basically what I've been saying, that these council members, they repeat what you want to hear all the time and for a long time. So here he points out that want to know some of the root causes, Andrew Friedson, in terms of what's going on in crime, etc. He says, locking down MoCo, leaving young people without friends, jobs, and social outlets. He's talking about crime. Continuing to pump good money after bad into an education system that doesn't exactly equip you for success, but does teach you 33 pronouns. Number 3, driving a defund policy bandwagon. Will Juando. Down 355, making it an impossible task to be a LEO. Number 4, supporting restorative justice measures that neither restore or prevent crime. Yep. 5, taking away gun rights among law-abiding citizens. That's Gabe Albornoz. He's a Second Amendment hater, and he's a puppet, just like everyone at the county council. Number 6, spending more time as a council body debating what powers a leaf blower, and then how to provide greater surveillance and deliver more prosecutions. I would go on, but the common denominator is our current leadership. I would have to agree. And to go further, so here's what Andrew Friedson says all the time. We recognize that there are challenges that we need to address those challenges, Friedson said. It needs to be an all-hands-on-deck approach. It needs to focus on root causes, challenges that our young people are facing. It also needs to ensure that we have a response to the issues in real time. I mean, this is propaganda. This is communism 101, Marxism 101, socialism 101. is tell the public what they want to hear, that you are behind the ball on nothing, and that you are addressing their issues, their concerns. This is just flowery language to mask the incompetence that they all have. So it's a shame. It's a shame. So we need to do something, and one of the things that you can do right now is, in these elections, start voting Democrats out of all positions, because they have been in control of the county, and everything happening today is because of lack of accountability. And if there is only one party controlling every aspect of our county government, then there's no accountability. There's room for corruption, room for malfeasance, and you're seeing the results of that right now. All right, let's continue. We have Montgomery County Watchdog. He puts out a tweet: a MoCo government legislative process. Pass stupid laws and brag about them. Number 2, don't enforce the laws. 3, complain about the results. 4, pass more stupid laws just like the original ones. And I would add a fifth point here: repeat process points 1 through 4. So this is what they do. They talk about that they know the issues, but they don't. They ignore the issues, and they circumvent the issues with ad hoc, halfway solutions that only appear to be the correct ones for the public, but they're really not. So, and Greg from Sun and Money, I guess Montgomery County Watchdog retweeted Greg's original post that reads, "This is such idiocy. We have a county government that passes unenforceable regulations. It doesn't even know what the point of a bag tax policy is." Correct. And here we go. Here's one of the, I guess, leaders of the bunch, of the incompetent, low IQ bunch who are destroying the county as we speak. He puts out a tweet: "Here's my letter to the Washington Post calling for greater transparency in Montgomery County Public Schools' $3 billion budget." Evan, my man, you work in the county council. You were the president of the council. You're there. You've been there for more than 4 years. What are you doing? You can't just say, I demand more transparency. Get transparency. Pass a bill. Fire some people. Do your job. Stop being a puppet of the extreme left and address the issues of residents. You're a joke. I bet you $1 million you're not gonna put the American flag before other flags. You're anti-American. You should quit and resign in shame before you go to jail because of your past voting and support of mass vaccinations, etc. You are a disgrace. Of course, Washington Post works for the Democrat Party, for the DNC, and this is just an arm that they use to spill their propaganda. Incredible. All right, let's continue. We're going to talk about the Teachers Union, MCEA. Clean Slate MoCo puts out a tweet saying, MCA leader on the phone to MCPS. This is a cartoon, a meme, and the meme reads, "The teachers figured it out. We need to make the grievance process more complex." There's a lady holding a cell phone in her left hand and tossing grievances papers on the fire. So, and there's a MCEA complaint burnt bucket. So, I mean, we've seen with the Biddleman case, it's a mess. And of course, there are more examples of that coming out. And we just touched the tip of the spear with that. I want to say more than 50% of the teachers in Montgomery County are afraid to say anything that contradicts the narrative or challenges the authority of MCPS or the Board of Education or anything of the sort. So, teachers that are listening to this broadcast, I urge you to we thank you for your service, and for providing your life's work and dedicated to educating our kids. And you have the support of parents. Don't be afraid of coming out and talking some sense into MCPS and the leaders at the Board of Education. We need your voice, and you have the support of all the parents. All right, let's continue. We have another tweet from Clean Slate MoCo. It reads, "For the sake of transparency, will Laura Stewart, BOE," she's one of the, candidates that is being endorsed by the Apple ballot, publish the entire list of questions and answers submitted for her consideration to be endorsed. And of course, we have the tweet from Laura Stewart. She says, "Of course, I'm honored to be on the Apple ballot. I've spent many hours with MCE EA working to build stronger connections because with PTA and teachers, we sometimes come problems with different perspectives, but ultimately have a same goal to enable children reach blah, blah, blah." So this is the Apple ballot. This right here has been the main reason we have the situation in our education system the way it is right now. We are at the bottom because this corrupt and compromised teachers union has endorsed the wrong candidates, and the candidates that basically don't do anything but just raise their hand and don't make a comment. They don't provide any substantive information or counterpoints. They just raise their hand and they're puppets. All right, let's see. Who did they endorse? Oh, hold on a sec. All right, let's continue. We have the Montgomery County Council. They have a tweet that came out this past week. It says, "A new jobs opportunities is business support initiative proposed by President Friedson will create 3 separate but complementary funds: the 10 million Job Creation Fund, a 7 million Innovation Fund, and a 3 million Equity Fund to jumpstart Montgomery County's economy." We have one of the largest counties in the area, and $20 million is not going to make a dent on the economy. To give you some perspective, or in comparison, we have a $3 billion budget for our school system. You think 20 million is going to make a difference in our economy? Well, for starters, you don't understand. The council doesn't understand economics. Simple economics 101. In order to foster any kind of economic activity and to spring the economic forces to create jobs and wealth, you need to have a sound structural reform. That doesn't exist in Montgomery County. You have a high tax rate, you have crime that is out of hand, and you have red tape that prohibits businesses from opening a business in the county. So this $20 million, this is just a way for them to shell out favors to people who and organizations that have supported them. You have the Job Creation Fund, 10 million. It's going to generate up to 1,000 new high-paying jobs. How's that going to be sustainable? Attract new companies and business investment. How are you going to reduce taxes? Are you going to put a freeze on corporate taxes? It increases every year. Employers receive 10,000 to 12,000 per jobs created. Okay, that might bring in some company, but the overall investment environment in the county is toxic. The Innovation Fund for $7 million fills critical funding gaps faced by many entrepreneurs, boosts jobs by launching companies from prototype to commercialization. Well, That's good wishes. Companies with the most demonstrated market opportunities receive up to $100,000 equity fund. So this is the hook right here. So if you support the Montgomery County, you support the Democrat Party, this money is going to go to you. But that money is going to run out, and the business plans for those companies are not going to be solid. They're not going to be based on real market activities or data, and they're going to fail. So this is just throwing money at the problem. It's not addressing the dire structural reform that needs to take place in the county in order to improve the economy. All right, so that does it for local news. Now we'll jump into national news. We have illegals being treated better than American citizens. We have Chinese nationals crossing over the border, and Chinese using Starlink in Panama. And you have Jewish NGOs like HIAS facilitating invasion of illegals. You have the Obama administration confirmed spied on Trump while he was a candidate and when he went into the presidency. And you have the Biden crime family being exposed. You have NGOs around the country helping and facilitating the invasion. So let's jump into it. Let's start with Mario Nafal. Illegal migrants served $31 meals in Massachusetts hotel. Records obtained show the state has 17 contracts for housing, totaling more than $116 million. Hotels are collecting money from the state for 3 meals a day, 16 for breakfast, 17 for lunch, and 31 for dinner. So there you have it, people. Your hard-earned tax dollars are going towards paying for illegals.
Homeless and migrants living in hotels and motels. So just how much money is the state paying for lodging? Records obtained by the I-Team show the state has 17 contracts for housing, totaling more than $116 million. Those contracts are only for fiscal year 2024 and end in June.
This is something that we have been asking the administration for information on for better part of a year. And have been stonewalled on the information. So I think for you to get it, I think it's really important.
In some cases, the hotels are collecting money from the state for 3 meals a day, $16 for breakfast, $17 for lunch, and $31 for dinner. That means $64 a day per person. The state's right to shelter law requires it provide families with refrigeration and basic cooking facilities. But some of the accommodations do not have those appliances, leaving the state to contract out for food and delivery. Citing the emergency nature of the crisis, the state gave Spinelli Ravioli Manufacturing Company in East Boston a $10 million 6-month no-bid contract to provide meals and delivery services. Spinelli's tells the I-Team, as an approved state vendor, we have the ability to deliver emergency meals and mobilize quickly.
So there you have it. There you have it. There you have an example of how our tax dollars are going to pay for the services to feed these illegals. And let me go back a few steps. There are no wars going on in any part of those countries where these people are coming from. And back in the 80s and 70s, yes, there was civil wars and wars raging all over Central America, and that's why we saw a lot of Central Americans wanting to demand or apply for refugee status, but that's not the case right now. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from Colin Rugg. New. Dozens of illegal Chinese immigrants invade the southern border in California, with one saying he's here to take the money. Beijing Biden must be proud. Chinese nationals are becoming the common occurrence at the border, as noted by Cliff Jenkins. So here you go. Here's a clear example. Liberals, Democrats, they don't want to accept this. They're saying this information is a conspiracy theory, but it's right here. Now you see ladies and you see men, mostly men. These are social, communist, Marxist activists, just like Kristen Mink and others in the council. They have a purpose. They are coming here to invade and to cause civil disorder and to destabilize the country. I've told you in the History 101 episode that the Democrats are the same party who started the Civil War in 1861 and are the same party that has created the KKK, that has created Jim Crow laws, and that has done everything to sabotage the inclusion and the evolution of African Americans in society. So this is a continuation of that, and they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped trying to destroy the country. This is an example. They sold themselves out to the Chinese, to the CCP, and the current president, Biden, has sold his soul and his family's soul to the CCP, and we're seeing the results of that. I mean, if this doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. The time for just listening to and watching news is over. You need to get active in your community, get active in your schools, get active in your HOA, get active, start talking to people, get involved. Guess who your representative is from the GOP in your area, and think about this. I mean, this is not about being from whatever party. It is one party that is destroying the country. Of course, we have GOP rhinos who are helping the Democrats. I'll let you hear the video. This is our southern border. We have Chinese nationals. Is there a war in China? No. They're coming here to do a job, to work in different NGOs, to be they're social activists. And look at them. From other countries as well. Who's paying for this? Your tax dollars.
Where in China are you from?
I come from Guangzhou.
Where?
Guangzhou.
Guangzhou?
Yeah.
Where in the U.S. do you want to go? Do you know what city?
Yes, maybe.
What city do you want to go to?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Okay. Why did you come?
Take money.
Money?
Yes.
For job?
Yes.
There's no job in China.
Maybe. I don't know.
We're being invaded, and the Democrat Party is not allowing this. All right, let's continue. And we have inside information from Laura Loomer. We thank you for your service and for your efforts in providing this information. So, Chinese communist invaders using Starlink in Panama jungle to use CCP-tied Alibaba Pay to organize their illegal entry to the United States. So this is a full-on organization that comes from the international globalists who are, along with the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, are organizing themselves, and they have organized themselves to facilitate this invasion. So when you hear that Biden has received money from China, it is all true. I mean, it's so easy to see.
Hey everybody, so I'm currently in a location here in the Darien Gap in Panama known as Puerto Limon, and this area is known for having a lot of Chinese invaders, right? Migrants, as they like to call themselves, who come in. There's a river over there, if you see by the SUVs. There's a river, and they come in on the little water boats. They kind of look like canoes. They're called piraguas. And this one like I said, it's mostly Chinese migrants coming in. And what's unique about this is we're in Panama, and yet this little grocery store where the migrants can purchase supplies, you'll notice that the signs are all in Chinese. Everything is in Chinese when you get here. And so this sign, from what I've been told, is a welcome sign that says pretty much welcome to my fellow Chinamen. It says Wi-Fi, right? They sell Wi-Fi. And then what's really interesting about this is you can pay in cash for the food here, for the supplies, for the products that are being sold. But what shows that this is tied to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, is the fact that you have QR codes here that allow you to pay on what's called Alipay. Alipay, which is the payment processor or payment app, kind of like Venmo, right? But for the company Alibaba, which has, of course, been taken over by the CCP. And so, look, they say that migrants have no food, they have no water. What I've noticed through visiting various migrant camps since I arrived in Panama is that, yeah, people may have torn up clothes, they might be in poverty, they might have open cuts on their skin, but one thing that every single migrant has on their personal body is a smartphone. So it's interesting, right? Because here in the United States, we're seeing at the Mexican border, not only is our own government giving cell phones to the illegal aliens once they're processed at the Texas border, but a lot of these people already have their own cell phones, and you have to ask yourself, how are you a refugee? How are you severely in poverty, or how are you really struggling if you can afford to have a smartphone? And in the other migrant camps like Lajas Blancas, where a lot of these invaders are taking buses to Costa Rica, they actually have a Western Union as well. And so at what point in time, right, posters? And here's a name right here you can see. What's the significance of this?
Well, the way they get paid, there's no cell phone coverage here, but you have Starlink. So you can see on the... Well,
show them, because on the phone you're picking up on the Wi-Fi network right now.
Yeah, they have Starlink, and so they there we go.
Well, so the Chinese migrants are using Starlink. So if you're watching this, Elon Musk, I know that you are outraged all the time about the invasion of America and talking about immigration being a huge threat. Well, these Chinese migrants that are clearly affiliated with the CCP are using Starlink.
So there you have it. We have a very organized international effort to have invaders, illegals come into the United States. Let that sink in. And are you wondering why the Biden administration is spending so much money, and they want $3 trillion for next year's budget? All right, let's continue. We have another report from Laura. Thank you, Laura, for your efforts. We have Jewish NGO HIAS, refugees, gives detailed map to invaders with instructions on how to invade the United States once the migrants arrive in Panama. HIAS, the map inside the Bajo Chiquito invader camp in Darien Gap, Panama, is giving migrants instructions. So,
hey everybody, so I'm currently in Panama. I'm at the Bajo Chiquito migrant camp, which is the first point of contact for many of these migrants who then get out of the Darien Gap and are trying to then get to other migrant camps like Lajas Blancas or take the bus to Costa Rica so that they can continue their path, ultimately going to the United States of America. And you can see here we have a map that's been provided by HIAS, which is a Jewish organization. It's disgusting. As a Jew, as an American, somebody who's in favor of closed borders, I find it to be absolutely disgraceful that groups like HIAS, which stands for the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, are using Judaism as a cloak to traffic human beings around Central and South America and then into the United States. Here, you can see that it's in cooperation with the United Nations, and they have all the routes listed. So for all the migrants that want to know where they should go once they arrive here, starting from Colombia, the entrance to the Darien Gap, right, here's all the different locations and stops that tell them the weather at each location, the height of the water, the current, and then to Panama. So it's Colombia, Panama. We're currently now in Bajo Chiquito. That line over there, if you want to pan the camera, you can show them. That's where they're supposed to be getting registered. To the other migrant camp, Lajas Blancas, where they'll then get on a bus. And then you see here they have Lajas Blancas listed. San Vicente is another camp. That's a camp that has a lot of Chinese migrants present. And then ultimately, right, they take the bus to go to Costa Rica. And you see here on these maps, they have all of the bus stops listed, just like on that map over there that I showed you. So again, these are all NGOs, leftist organizations. This one happens to be a Jewish organization, but they're all working in conjunction with the United Nations. And what needs to happen if we're going to secure our country and shut down the border, we need to start with defunding and also prosecuting officials at the NGOs. HIAS needs to be shut down. Catholic Charities needs to be shut down. The United Nations needs to be completely defunded. And any leftist politician or so-called charity or nonprofit that is aiding and abetting these groups, they need to be charged. They need to be charged with human trafficking.
So, Casa of Maryland needs to be defunded and its leaders to be prosecuted.
Because these are egregious conditions. You see here children in tents. Look at children on the ground in filth with garbage. There's women that are getting raped. The map over there had information for women who have been raped on their journey to the Darien Gap. There's bodies in the jungle. People are drowning in the jungle. This is not a route of migration for human beings. It's very dangerous. And if you ask a lot of people here whether they would do it again, they would say no, because you can see, right, look, the woman next to me has blisters all over her feet. They're bleeding. There's flies, right? They have flesh-eating moniasis here. They have leishmaniasis. They have screwworm. And all of these diseases, right? You have a fly land on feces and land on an open cut. People are going to be getting all types of infections. It smells awful here. No plumbing. You know, makes it worse because it's like hot outside.
So there you have it. You have an international organized effort to cause havoc and chaos in the United States. And I showed you in History 101 episode, From Despair to Awakening, episode 23, that the same people who started the slave trade, who started the commerce of slaves, not only in America but all over the world, who funded the ships, who funded the commerce, the selling and buying of slaves in the United States, well, they're at it again. They are providing logistics to traffic and to bringing illegals, traffic children, women, and the Biden administration is, of course, working with them. So this is, like Laura said, this is a UN effort to destroy the United States. And Soros and all those NGOs are there to make this possible. So it's time for you to wake up, MoCo. All right, let's continue. We have breaking news. Confirmed Barack Obama and John Brennan committed treason, and we knew this since day one, but nobody believed us. But again, we have the CIA, we have the three-letter agencies curating. Going against a candidate and a sitting president. So Mr. Barack Hussein Obama and John Brennan, basically under his watch, under Obama's watch, Obama ordered the surveillance of Trump, and this is treason. And this happens in third world countries, not in the United States, but it did. So I'll let you hear the news.
Of curating the 2016 Russia collusion hoax by asking foreign intelligence agencies to illegally spy on the Trump campaign.
Lucas Tomlinson in Washington with more. Lucas.
Good early morning, Carly and Todd. This report from Substack, citing multiple unnamed sources, claims the U.S. intelligence community asked foreign spy agencies to help spy on more than 24 associates of Donald Trump in the run-up to the 2016 election. It reads in part, quote, President Barack Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, had identified 26 Trump associates for the Five Eyes to target. A source confirmed that the IC had identified them as people to bump or make contact with or manipulate. They were targets of our own IC and law enforcement, targets for collection and misinformation. Now, the Five Eyes nations are the U.S., U.K., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Here's one of the reporters, Michael Schellenberger, who spoke to Jesse Waters last night.
If this binder contains what we have been told that it contains, which may include raw intelligence, information showing that the U.S. government, the CIA and the intelligence community of the U.S. government, initiated the Russia collusion hoax, that it did not occur in the way that the official story, including the Durham investigation, had portrayed it, then that's extremely serious information.
The report was released at the same time House conservatives are preparing a bill that would reauthorize Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act that allows the government to collect communications from foreigners abroad. And today, the House Rules Committee is set to meet over that FISA reform bill, guys.
So it is proven. There's more on that. Fact, Obama spied on the Trump campaign. Sorry about the language there. Sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry about that. But Gunther Eagleman says indict the MFer. And I support that. He's not what he portrayed to be. He was an intelligence asset, groomed and forced to infiltrate the U.S. government as a senator first and then as president. And everything about him is a lie. You don't have to believe me. Everything's coming out. So. And let's continue with the same information. We have another report from Chuck Calesto. Bombshell report. Strong evidence emerges claiming CIA masterminded entire Russian collusion hoax leverage against President Trump. So the left, right? The progressives, the woke, the Democrats say, yeah, you can't support the Republicans. You can't support Trump because he's a Russian asset, because he was working with Putin. He's working alongside a dictator, and he's a dictator himself. It's all a lie. Everything was based on made-up documentation produced and manufactured by our own intelligence agencies at the behest of the Democrat Party, at the behest of Obama, at the behest of high-ranking Democratic officials. So let's hear Jesse here.
This is a Fox News alert. Brand new details about how Obama's CIA targeted Trump and started the entire Russia hoax. For years, we were told that tips from an Australian diplomat tipped off the FBI after a random conversation with Papadopoulos, a no-name 20-something. But according to new reporting by Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi, the whole thing was a CIA setup. Former CIA Director John Brennan identified 26 Trump associates to be targeted by the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, and then those interactions were the targets and were targeted by the FBI as suspicious. And that's how the FBI launched the Russia collusion hoax. The details of this entire operation have been stored in a top secret binder in a secret room in Washington. Trump ordered the whole thing declassified, and now the rumor is that the binder might be missing.
A lot of things are going to come out of this, and for all you fellow Americans who are Democrats, we're here to provide. We don't hate you. We want you to see the truth, but you seem not to want to see it, and that upsets us. That's all. We don't hate you. We're all American. We need to be together. We need to come together and unite against this corruption. You've been lied to. That's why we've been trying to tell you for all these years. You've been lied to. Everything you hear from the mainstream media is a lie. Everything you hear from your leaders and your political party is a lie. It's false. All the narratives, the climate change is a hoax. The Bidenomics is a hoax. This Russian collusion is a hoax. The pandemic was a hoax. So, and everything you hold as dear from these people that have lied to you is false. But we're here to help. We're here to tell you what's going on and tell you the truth. And you just have to get away from your programming and start seeing for yourself. That's the best way. All right, let's continue. So we have the Biden administration being corrupt and being compromised by the CCP, by the millions of dollars that the family has gained from from him being in high offices as a senator first, then as a VP, and then now as a president. So here's a little summary of the Biden crime family.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden has a deep, steep, and successful record over a long, long time.
The bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million
over a long, long time
from foreign nationals and their companies.
I think the contrast between Donald Trump and me is about as stark as it can get. For example,
Joe Biden's son, Joe Biden's brother, Joe Biden's brother's wife, Hunter Biden's girlfriend or Beau Biden's widow, Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Hunter Biden's current wife, and 3 children of the president's son and the president's brother. A grandchild? That's odd. Most people that work hard every day's grandchild doesn't get a wire from a foreign national.
Senator Grassley and Chairman Comer subpoenaed an FBI document containing an allegation regarding a pay-to-play scheme between then Vice President Biden and a foreign national. So my question is, has the FBI complied with the subpoena for this document?
I believe we submitted a lengthy letter earlier today.
A letter? Not the document.
I can't speak to the specific document.
Do you believe the Hunter Biden laptop story is disinformation?
I don't think there's anything I can share on that.
Will you appoint a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden?
I'm not able to respond to questions about investigations.
How did you react to learning that President Trump called the Ukrainian president in a phone call asking him to investigate you and your father?
I'll let you guys in the media handle that.
President Trump brought up what he calls a lack of coverage of his unproven and unverified charges that Joe Biden and his son Hunter have received millions of dollars in corrupt payments.
There's no evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place. It's been totally verified.
No.
There's no evidence that Joe Biden did anything illegally.
There is not a smoking gun.
Anything illegally.
We heard Steve Ducey say the same thing. But Donald Trump just got found guilty of sexually assaulting a woman.
Just yesterday, he was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump.
And what is cable going to talk about today? Going to talk about, Gene Carroll and this huge thing. And right in front of their face is the selling out of our nation for cash money.
There's no evidence that Joe Biden did anything illegally.
And you have an apparatus that has known it all the time.
Do you know where Hunter Biden's laptop is?
Again, I'm not going to talk about any potential ongoing investigation.
Do you know where it is?
As I sit here.
Do you know where it is?
I'm not going to talk about it.
This was a selection. And what freaks them out, they now understand he's going to win the presidency again, and he's going to return to power, to field strip this administrative state that selects and props up an incompetent, dangerous, radical thief.
Joe Biden.
Scumbag like Joe Biden and his criminal family.
So that's a summary of the Biden crime family. And I'll cover this in a different episode, but he's part of the deep state. The deep state exists. The deep state is real. And we'll go over in detail that, like we always do. We're going to cover the deep state. All right, let's continue. We have, finally, we have a map. This is a map of NGOs that report to the United Nations international efforts to house, feed, and welcome illegals in the country. So there you have it, right here. And we have the NGO HIAS, the Jewish NGO. We have Catholic and Christian organizations, NGOs all over the country. And as a sneak peek, I'll let you know that the Catholic Church is also part of the deep state. And again, here at MoCo Resistance, we're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to tell you the truth. It doesn't matter where it comes from or who it involves. We're going to talk about the truth as it is. So right now we have Catholic organizations, Christian organizations, we have Jewish organizations, and CASA of Maryland, of course, right here. Silver Spring, Yellow, where's Yellow? Ethiopian Community Development Council. Ooh, see? they're involved as well. We have light maroon. We have the International Rescue Committee. So we have that going on. We have criminal White House administration that is aiding and abetting in the invasion of criminals of our country with illegals from China, from other places, and it's an effort, and it's an international effort that is organized. And you saw the examples in this episode. You have Chinese nationals coming in with cell phones. You have NGOs providing help. You have a lot of organizations in the world and those NGOs that are helping migrants come through those Central American countries into Mexico. And you have NGOs in here in the country that are helping or working on the other side to make sure that these illegals, these migrants, get all the services that they need at a time where most Americans are having a hard time making ends meet every month. And veterans, I'm not going to even talk about that because they're not being serviced, they're not being taken care of, and this is a shame. All right, so that was national news. Now we'll go into the final part of the episode, which is the bonus round. So what happened? What happens in the bonus round? We're going to give you some sneak peeks of what just broke today and yesterday. So we've had a special counsel, Robert Hur, the testimony. So it's been proven that Biden mishandled classified documents while he was vice president. He gave documentation to a person without any security clearance. Biden has been holding classified information in different places, at home and otherwise. And then we have an election year this year. We're going to start. We have already started interviewing candidates. We have May. We have primaries in May. We have races for the congressional seats, Senate seats, and we have, most importantly, we have Board of Education seats to be filled. So that's the news, that's the information for this episode. We'd like you please to subscribe to our channels and spread the word. We need your engagement in Twitter and Facebook. We need your subscription to our channels in Telegram, YouTube, and Rumble. We need to get this information out, and hopefully we're going to get the new chairman of the GOP in Montgomery County, Dennis Melby, in our next episode. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and give you information on the candidates that are running for the Board of Education and congressional seats coming up. So this has been episode 24. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. God bless, and join us. Join the resistance.
Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies.